Hey, what's happening, my joyful people? Oh my goodness. It's been 2 weeks and I feel bad. But in 2 years, if I've only missed 2 weeks, I'm doing okay. But last week I was in my new city looking for a house. Did we find a house? No. No house found yet, but I know that God has our back and we will have a home pretty soon. Hey, how you doing? Celeste, it's good to see you. Hey guys, so good to see you. I was just talking about how I missed last week because I was looking for a new house in my new city in Florida, but we didn't find anything. So that's why I wasn't here. Hey Erica, why I wasn't here, last week. So I apologize, but I am excited to bring you part 2 of the craving video. And here's the deal. I forgot that I hadn't even given you part 2. I gave you part 1 and then I moved on to the men with erectile dysfunction, erectile, excuse me. Oh, what city? The West Palm Beach area. All right. So since we're online, I don't quite give my exact location since this is a public video, but West Palm Beach area. So yeah, I'm excited. Hey, it's good to see you. So I just wanted you guys to know that I'm super, super excited. Somebody actually sent me a message. Let's do that. There we go. Somebody sent me, a thing about wanting to know about cravings. And I was like, oh, I've done 2 videos about cravings. And I went and I looked and I was like, oh my gosh, I did one. And then I was realized I didn't record the other one because I had moved on. So I want to go back to part 2 of cravings. So if you missed part 1, you can find it in my photos on like in albums and videos on my Facebook page. But you can also always go to YouTube, guys. I have a whole YouTube channel with all 103 videos that I have done from Share the Joy over the past 2 years. So please, by all means, jump in there and check it out. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about really quickly is primary food. Now, some people know me and have been following me and they understand primary food, but I'm going to break it down for you really quickly. Primary food, 4 things: your career, spirituality, relationships, and physical activity. When one of those 4 areas is out of balance, meaning maybe you hate your career or you're bored, you're not challenged anymore with it. Let's say you're not working out or you have lost vigor for that. You don't have anything that you really like. Or let's say your husband, like my husband, travels all the time and you may be lonely at night. Or let's see what else we say, spirituality, or you don't feel connected in a sense to God or to, your source or whatever that is for you. That can cause you to want to eat, to fill that void. So that's something called primary food. So that's usually what I tell people. The first thing to look at is when you really, well, actually that's the first, it's the second, but that's really when you're like really eating all the time, or you find yourself munching, like when the kids come home from school, maybe there's something going on in that primary food area where you're feeling overwhelmed and stressed. It's the soul food. So how can we rearrange life to make that primary food your primary source of nourishment? And then you won't find yourself eating all the time. And kids do it like fabulously for us, because my kids were just out the other day playing with their friends in the neighborhood. I called them in, I don't know how many times, to eat something, and they were like, I'm not hungry. I don't want to eat. I'm not hungry. Now they were famished by the time they came back in, but they should have been because they probably hadn't eaten for 8 hours. But they didn't want to come in and stop their life that was feeling so good. Their relationships were covered. They were having physical activity or partaking in that. Their career is like exploring and all of that. And then they were out in, nature or communing with God in a sense of being in their space, right? So I tell people all the time, watch kids and how they are. They really don't care to eat if they are engaged in something. And that as adults is what we need to do as well. So first thing, when you're eating out the wazoo and you don't know why, check those areas of your life. But the first thing I always tell people to do is check your hydration. Either too much water or too little water causes dehydration, but actually manifests as hunger instead of thirst. So the first thing I tell people to do is drink some water. That's fabulous. All right. So you've got that. And then if you're drinking too much water, maybe back off a bit. You won't feel as hungry. The next thing I want you guys to think about is called yin and yang. So the yin in your life are qualities that are more expansive. So things like sugar. Okay. And then you have the yang, which is more contractive, things like meat or dehydrated foods. So if you're eating too much sugar, you might crave meat to balance things out. Or if you're eating too much meat, you might crave sugar. So those are things to understand. Hey, Renee, good to see you. Those are things that I would tell people all the time, to be really mindful of how much you're eating of one thing. Too much salty, you crave sweet. It's yin and yang, that back and forth of what you're doing. So check your diet to see how many expansive foods am I eating or how many contractive foods am I eating, and how can I make that work for my advantage so that you're not continuously just one-sided. That balance will help you not crave certain things, but you will always crave something if you're doing too much in excess in one area. The next one is fun. It's called the insides of coming out. So some people will have cravings because they grew up on a dairy farm, so they love dairy, right? And it's like the thing that your ancestry, pieces of you, things like that are part of your body that's kind of like coming out. And I've had friends from Africa that will tell me they crave certain foods that they can't get here. But that's that place in you that you are connecting with your roots in a sense. And so sometimes it is about finding healthier choices sometimes of that, because sometimes unfortunately we've learned the wrong type of eating from our ancestors. So I tell people all the time, let's see if you can make healthier versions of the things that you are craving. But that is one of those things that ancestral or childhood foods, you can have a nostalgia that comes back and you're craving for that. So figure out whether it's something that's reminding you. I have a client who I want him to give up Coca-Cola so badly, but it's a thing that his grandmother, he grew up very poor, and his grandmother wanted him to be able to have something kind of like that was special, right? And so he equates that to that childhood memory of his grandmother sacrificing for him. And so it's hard for him to give up drinking Coca-Cola for that memory that comes back. The next thing is seasonal. We all know this. So most of the time you're not craving eggnog in the middle of July, right? But you will crave it around December or late November. It's the seasonal thing. Or you'll all of a sudden crave ice cream in the summer, or you'll crave watermelon in the summer, or something that you can only have in a particular season. So find out whether you should have it, or if you should do like you do with the inside coming out and finding a healthier version of it. But those are sometimes cravings that come on as just a seasonal situation. The next one is key, and we talked about it more in part 1. So I won't go into a great detail. Watch part 1 if you missed it of the cravings video, but it's lack of nutrients. So a lot of times, remember if I said if you're craving dark chocolate, it could be that it's a lack of magnesium in the body. So I go through some of those in part 1, and we won't go there, but just know that if you're craving something, sometimes it could be your body's way of telling you, hey, you need this mineral or vitamin, and you're deficient in that particular area. The next one is also hormonal, and women know this especially. Sometimes when it's that time of the month for us, we'll crave certain foods like burgers, and that once again has to do with nutrients. So sometimes your body is pulling more nutrients or doesn't have enough, and so you end up craving a particular food to fulfill that, whether it be good or bad. And the last one that I really like a lot, and this one comes into more of the psychology and what I like when I coach my clients, we start talking about what we say is de-evolution. There's a great book out there that I recommend on my Amazon page called The Big Leap. And it talks about how when we get to a certain set point of happiness, we tend to bring ourselves back down because we know how to get to that point, but getting beyond that is very difficult for us. And so that's why we'll find ourselves having a great vacation, and then the last day we argue with our family, and then it kind of ruins the whole thing. We don't believe we can stay in this state of happiness for so long. So a lot of times we'll get to those, 10 pounds are off and we need that 5 extra, but we'll go back and gain the 10 and then have to lose those 10 again. And we keep going until we never get to our ideal goal because we don't feel we deserve that. And so it's a way of knocking ourselves down. So I just wanted to let you guys know that there are more than just, I feel like I want that. Find out what your body needs. Ask questions. Hey, Marilyn, so good to see you. It's one of those things. Ask your body questions. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? Go through those 8 steps. Write these down. Go back, listen to the video. Share it out with other people, because sometimes that may be the key to you making a difference and change. For me, I was realizing I had a lot of eating that I would do. Now I was eating like healthy snack food, but it was at school, after school. And I was like realizing that I needed to shift eating lunch later in the day so that when the kids came home from school and the stress of their homework and getting them ready for sports or whatever, I didn't go in and start snacking and doing things. So I recognized where I was missing and why I was craving certain things at that time. It was a particular pleasure situation or trying to get out of that primary food funk. And once I adjusted some things, that wasn't necessarily my go-to anymore. But you do have to ask yourself questions. So if you have questions for me, You guys always know that you can ask them in the comment section, whether you're watching live or whether you're catching my replay. I do ask that you share the video out. It's a great way to just educate people. I know we share fights all the time and stuff like that on Facebook, but let's share some things that can really help some people. Hey, Sierra, good to see you. So I just want you guys to know that I love you. I love doing Share the Joy. I'm happy to be back this week, and I will talk to you a little bit later. All right, peace and blessings. And remember to do all things with joy and share the joy. Peace.